Hi there. I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's been about a week since we were together. I kind of took a little bit of time last week to decompress and just rebalance a little bit. So it's really nice to be back with you. I've been managing to get some time to think about different things I'd like to share with you. So today we're going to do a little bit of a sequence of things. So this is something that you can follow, and it's going to bring in a little bit of our glutes and our hamstrings and a little bit of core. And then I'm going to do another couple of videos through today that I'll share with you through the week. A little bit more upper back stuff and helping the shoulders get into the right rotation and just really checking out your shoulder rib relationship. And then I'll take another step forward on the low back pain, and then we'll see where we are from there. Okay, so let me know how you're finding the videos, what else you think might be helpful for you. Just keep giving me ideas that can add into some of my own. Okay, so absolutely gifted with a beautiful, beautiful day today. So we're going to start off with a little bit of glute med stuff. So I've got a band here. If you guys don't have a band at home, there's a couple of things I'm going to use the band for. You can use a homemade band with tights. So this is if you want to do, so this is 2 pairs of tights strung together. So if you want to do standing squats, banded squats, these can be quite helpful. Obviously the higher denier, the higher the resistance. So one of the pairs I've got here are actually footless tights. They're a little bit thicker. And the further down the leg that you tie the knot, again, the more resistance you're going to get. Okay. Or you can kind of have them in half, or have one pair. Where am I with these? About like that, and then use it as a resistance. I did figure this out earlier. On your feet, if you're for one of the things that we're going to do. So a little bit of just a point of awareness of where your feet are, and just to fire up particular muscle chains. It doesn't have to be a really strong resistance that you're working against for some of these things, but it just is to raise the awareness and go, that's part of the firing pattern through the muscle chains. Think, oh, okay, that's where I need to be. That's a really helpful reminder. Okay, so I'll have those handy, and we'll have those handy. So I'm going to start off with my band, and we're actually going to start with some glute med clams. I've done quite a few glute med series on the glute med series before, so we're going to do this in a little bit of a different way. Okay, so starting off here. Okay, so you want to have your feet, hips, and shoulder in line. You want to be really well lifted out of your shoulder, so don't start flopped down like that. So really engage your shoulder out of your rib cage, okay? And if you need to, then just support the shoulder ball as well, because sometimes coming up can create a little bit of shear through the joint. So you want to avoid that and just help it to stay in the same stable place, just to know where it's at. Okay, so really help your shoulder blade to stay back if you can, activating those muscles in the back, and at the same time using your core. So we're going to come up into a clam as we come up into a side plank. Okay. And you don't need to have the band, obviously, to do these. Eight, 9, 10, and swap sides. So you want to pay attention to whether, as you lift into the clam, your hip wants to roll. Okay, and from there I'm going to go into a bridge. But instead of putting the band on my knees, I'm actually going to put it on my feet. There's a really helpful point to take it down the chain and keep your feet planted just to know where they're at. Quite often when we go into a bridge, we really come into our heels, and you want to keep the pressure through the whole of the foot, being aware of what the forefoot is doing. One day soon I'll do one specifically on feet, because feet are brilliant and they're so important and often forgotten. So I've got a little bit of pressure there on the band, just to give me contact into my lateral chain as I come up into the band. And you can, if you want, add an extra element at the top of this, going into that same kind of clam movement. So remember, this is all hips, not back. You don't want the lift to come here, you want it all here. One more, lost count. Great. Okay, I'm just going to get my tights. We're going to do some banded squats. So one bit's going to go over my neck. And so these are not very tight. Okay, you got enough of a view of me. So I'm actually going to cross them over and just try and give it a little bit more. So we're there. So I've crossed it over at the front. So it's, you probably can't see my black trousers, but and again, I want it on the forefoot, so under the ball of the foot. Okay, going down, 10. And it's quite nice with these, you can do different things. So you can go into a bit of a squat and just try and walk sideways. See what you've got. Okay, little movements. If you have more bands at home, fantastic. Obviously the band slips a little bit. So I'm keeping my arms here just to keep that resistance. My band is sliding. I'm just going to do one more. Great. Taking us to there. Okay, so I'm going to do now some just one leg standing. Okay, balance is really important. Starting to get into single leg stuff. So before we spoke about wrapping the pelvis a little bit more. So I want you to think about what your hip bones here are doing, because quite often if we go into one leg standing, one side gets really tight and the leg comes over, so this kind of pulls forward. And even if I manage to come up and I'm in a nice straight line, this side might still be really pulling. Okay, so so coming up with one leg, I'm thinking about wrapping this back, because for me this side tends to pop forward. Okay, so I'm thinking of really wrapping this one back, and then I'm going to see if I can come into a kind of single leg Superman. Yeah, and this can be a really nice exercise. If you're feeling confident with this, you maybe want to do a few just to get that pattern. But going from there, again, I'm connecting, I'm wrapping, and then I'm coming forward. Got a good connection of my foot to the ground and my big toe to my glute. So I'm keeping that line awareness. Okay. You can add a weight if you want to. So your weight would be in your left hand, and you're coming down as if you're kind of dropping it, taking it towards your standing foot. Ugh. Okay. Wrapping, connecting, coming through. The thing you don't want to do is drop your sternum. So you don't want to kind of drop and reach, because then you've lost all the control in your back. So you really want to keep your shoulder blades down. Oh, my feet's going. Glad I was standing, not lying. Could do some great home video outtakes. So again, I'm nice and strong in this glute. I'm slightly wrapping around the side. Okay, I'm obviously engaging my core because I kind of can't knot in this position. My shoulder blades are down, my sternum forward, and I'm maintaining that connection. Oh, I've got the foot wobble. Come on, Frank. And coming back through. Okay, great. So the other side is actually my worst side. So coming through. So now I'm thinking, because this is my side that drops forward, I'm really trying to connect through my hamstring up into my glute, because for me on this side this is more weak at the back. So I'm just going to take a minute to really think about where the connection is. Anybody spot the cat darting behind my screen? Okay, I'm coming back. Stripey one! I love my cat. Oh, heavens. I went for a run this morning and I could really feel this leg didn't want to fire up. So just really getting the connections going through. And a really great way, where you're most challenged, hold it. Just keep that static hold. You're trying to get the leg long behind you. You're keeping the sternum lifted. And you're getting that sense of tipping as a unit. So my back and my leg are a straight line. Really trying to make that connection work, and you can see that I'm swiveling a bit. So you're not necessarily going to get every aspect right, but if you just keep your focus on the bits that you want to stay connected, you will improve over time. Okay, right. Single deadlift. Okay. Thanks for joining me for today. I hope those were helpful to you.